guys hear me now?
We can hear you clearly.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know my network went off and I was speaking until I saw Julie's call. Thank you for calling my attention to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I didn't even know I've gone off, so I'm so sorry.
You've been gone for a long time.
Oh, really? And then I have to go back. I didn't even know. I didn't know my network went off. Okay, so please, can you let me know where I stopped? Where did you hear me last? My thoughts. Where were my thoughts disconnected, please?
I said 260.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Sorry for that breach of network. Okay, so I was speaking to ISA 260 and the importance of communicating in writing. And I was saying that ISA 260 is important and it guides us to ensuring as auditors we communicate in writing. And even if it's oral, it must be documented that this was what was agreed with management and this was what was communicated, so that whoever is coming after us understand what has transpired. If oral communication has not been captured as documented, it is not sufficient and reliable evidence for third parties and those reading or working through the audit reports. So we spoke to the objective, saying that what's the objective of ISA 260 is to communicate the responsibilities of auditors and the responsibilities of management, and the correspondence must be effective. It's a two-way thing. You send a correspondence to management, they respond to auditors, auditors send, they respond, management send. So it is a two-way conversation, and it's very important that it's cordial and mutual, and every correspondence is captured as documented evidence. So we spoke to, or we're saying matters to be communicated includes the auditor's responsibilities, which includes forming an opinion, auditing the financial statements, and it doesn't relieve management of their own responsibility. So matters to be communicated includes overview of the planned scope and timing of the job. Very important. Also, matters to be communicated includes significant audit findings, accounting policies that don't align with the numbers, estimates that are wild, that are not realistic with economic realities, disclosures that are ambiguous or unclear, difficulties during the audit, matters arising with management, and other significant oversight issues need to be communicated in writing. Control deficiencies, whatever it is that has come to the attention of the auditors during the audit, need to be brought to the fore. So for listed companies, we said compliance with independence requirements, relevant matters, safeguards must be in writing as auditors carry out their job in auditing listed companies, public interest companies, which regulatory audits is mandatory yearly. Also, the communication process must be written or oral. So where you have oral, that oral must be documented for evidence, for sufficient appropriate evidence. And timely communication is key. So in planning the audits, sufficient difficulties, if they are if they come during the audits, needs to be captured. Oral communication with management needs to be documented. Where you call their attention to it, you could send a mail or document it in a document for them to address and write back to you. So in planning the audits early, they need to envisage for difficulties that may come up. Also, actions for modifying a report. You need to communicate planned modifications. So where you have a report issued that, okay, you have a clean report, unqualified, nothing has come to our attention so far. You need to also communicate where you need to modify that report and add matter paragraphs, something that is significant that has come to our attention. So you need to communicate to them first, this has come to our attention and it's material, this is why, this is the reason, and this is who, this is what to do. So you need to also reassess management's integrity in responding to the issues you raised and the communication. And that's where some management team could be obstinate. The directors may refuse. So you need to also assess their integrity and their response. And where is opposite, you may consider withdrawing from the engagement or seek legal advice. So management become very stubborn when it comes to maybe modifying a report. What is the problem now? They have started again. So auditors encounter such, and they need to be very, very careful and resolute to ensure the right thing is done. And where management is pushing them or pushing the auditor, you need to seek legal advice on what to do. Also, matters to communicate speaks to declining engagements if pre-audit scope or limitation leads to a disclaimer. You cannot say whether it's qualified or unqualified unless maybe your legal advice has prompted you to do that. So everything we're speaking to here must be communicated to management and in writing, so you will have sufficient and appropriate evidence. So that's ISA 260 and what it speaks to. So any questions so far? So that we can run through the last unit. We're already 9 o'clock. We've not even gone through our quiz. Time is not on our side. So we need to run faster. We still have one module to cover tonight before 10 p.m. Okay, so any questions so far on ISA 260? Okay, I think we don't. So let's run. Unit 9 speaks to communicating deficiencies in internal control. And that speaks to ISA 265. There are deficiencies during the job. Auditors come and find out in the internal control framework of the company. So how do you communicate that? It must be in writing. So the requirement is that material weaknesses in internal control should be communicated to management. And the materiality is speaking to ISA 315, but the internal controls and communication is ISA 265. And these significant deficiencies needs to be written to management or those charged with governance to remediate. Very important. So the deficiency could speak to the risk-based approach. Normally the audits, internal audits gravitate towards risk-based approach, but the external audits look at the general, whether risk-based, high risk, medium or low. They bring management's attention to that in any of the three parameters. So the deficiency of control enable to prevent, to detect and correct misstatements timely, or a necessary control is missing, and they have hierarchies, so there are significant deficiencies. This merits attention to those charged with governance. These ones are material, so there are significant ones. So the deficiencies could be significant, and there could be insignificant ones also. So the written communication to management on these significant deficiencies is very important. Auditors need to describe these deficiencies and their potential effect. Very important. So the audit's purpose is to issue an opinion, and the control review is for audit procedures and not effectiveness opinion. So we need to limit as auditors our review to deficiencies identified during the audit. So usually it's stated or it states to people charged with governance the purposes of these control deficiencies. And they need to be communicated in the management letter, and it speaks to a letter of weakness. And this extra service reports deficiencies and recommends improvement. So having worked with the Big Four and some of these firms for a while, when they do their audits, they normally call the internal audits attention. Okay, this is what we found. Are they part of your findings, or they skipped your internal audits, and how do you remediate them? So some of them, internal audits may speak to the fact that, okay, it didn't come to our attention. We'll work with management to ensure this weakness is remediated. And the ones that have come to our attention, we'll maybe work with auditors to say, okay, we've called their attention to read, but they've not responded. So the management letter, where you have internal auditors, they speak to the internal auditors first before reaching out to management for remediation. And they issue an interim audit report for the significant deficiencies to be addressed. And they include the RCA and CAPA approach, which is the root cause analysis and the corrective and preventative action approach to that report. So they have the root cause, this is what they found, and this is what they are recommending for the remediation of those items. So the management letter external auditors send is always taking that form and format. So the nature of the deficiency, the implications, and also recommendations. So the RCA and CAPA is an approach that auditors, internal auditors use always in doing their job, and also external auditors use it very, very pragmatically to communicate to management. So management's response and actions, the plan requested and the timeline, and they also follow up in future audits to see that those items are remediated, they mentioned are remediated. So that's it for communicating deficiencies in internal controls. A good internal control system is so robust, where you have in the internal controls that are the second line of defense, the risk management second line of defense, and the compliance second line of defense, then the internal audit third line of defense with the external auditor. So it speaks to the fact that when deficiencies are found, these forms of defense try to guard the organization from any crashes or any material weakness. Okay, so any questions on ISA 265, I beg your pardon, communicating deficiencies in internal control? Any questions? Julia, any questions?
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
With what you've just stated, to my own understanding, I would say this particular standard is only talking about how to communicate any form of deficiency in internal control to those charged with governance.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
So he's not speaking to general controls or general communication. He's speaking to communication of deficiencies in internal control. That's ISA 265. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Julie, can we go on? I hope you are still on.
Yeah, I was off for a while, but I'm back now.
Yeah, I guess that's much. Okay. So finally, let's look at specialized areas, and that will be the last unit on reporting. Specialized areas. So the special purpose frameworks, ISA 800 speaks to auditors' access framework, acceptability, the purpose of what the users do, and management's rationale. So specialized areas, ISA 800s are rare areas where the examiner tests, but you need to be aware of it. So special area frameworks, the auditor's access to information and whatever it is needed to carry out the audit, and the users of that financial or the users of that information or the report and management's rationale is what this ISA speaks to. It's not frequently tested, but then there are potential areas that are examinable in the AAA curriculum. So the report describes the purpose and may include in emphasis on matter highlighting the special purpose and potential unsuitability for other users. What does that mean? It means that emphasis on other matter and highlighting special purposes that may not necessarily lead to qualification of your report, but has come to our attention, and management, the board, whoever uses that audit report or the financial statements that has been audited needs to be aware of. So these are special areas that may not really culminate in material misstatements, but they need to, the users of the financial information need to be aware of this special information. So for contract-based frameworks, report notes and significant interpretations are what these areas speak to. So ISA 800 is for special purpose frameworks, and they are not generally applicable in practice, but then in theory, it comes up once in a while that, okay, something has come to our attention that may not be financial or numbers related, but then management needs to be aware of this. And ISA 805 speaks to single financial statements or specific elements. These ISAs are adapted as needed. Auditors consider if presentation provides adequate disclosure, and also separate reports for single statements, elements, and also full sets if both audited are provided. So single financial statements and specific elements are very important in ISA 805. Where we have inadequate disclosures, they need to be brought to the fore to management. And if we are auditing as auditors and we find special issues that relate to this, they are not actually popular, but then they are specialized areas that come up once in a while in financial statements. And examples may be hard to find, but then there are guides that states, okay, if something comes up, this area could be, this ISA could guide you to be able to speak to those areas. And when you are modifying your opinion, an unmodified opinion on the element not given, if it's a major portion, and it could culminate in an adverse or disclaimer, depending on the area or the issue that has arose. Very important. So it's key to understand where to either modify, leave it as a clean report, but just add that matter paragraph, emphasize what has come up based on ISA 800 or ISA 025. And if it's material, then you may need to speak to the fact that it can be qualified, or you issue an adverse opinion or a disclaimer of opinion. So ISA 800, 805, and 810 are three of them, and 810 speaks to summarized financial statements, where auditors report if the opinion already given on the full financial statements and management agrees to the criteria, the availability of the full financial statements and inclusion of the summarized report is what ISA 810 guides. So the auditors report if the opinion already given in the full financial statements and management are in agreement. It's what this ISA speaks to. So most of the time, this report comes initially with an unmodified report, then later, where other matters come to the attention of auditors, will now update the report. So auditors evaluate disclosure of the summarized financial statements, look at the nature, criteria, and compare it to the full financial statements, and also assess if it's not misleading. Also, an unmodified opinion uses specific wordings about consistency with the full financial statements, the numerics, and also the score or the explanations. If the modified opinion on the full financial statements, that means we have already altered what we said earlier, bringing new information based on the matter paragraph. We need to explain the implications of what we have modified. What is the impact on the financial statements, which will culminate in adverse disclaimer of full statements, and it means no opinion on summarized financial statements. So a disclaimer is, generally speaking, to no opinion on financial statements, and a modification could lead to that based on what has transpired. So that speaks to specialized areas. They are not popular like that, but then, and even in examinable in the AAA Pathfinders, you hardly see questions along this area. So there are, will I say, gray areas, but then it's because in practice they are really rare to find, especially in this part of the world. But then it's good to understand one or two aspects of that before we move on. So if you don't have any questions on these specialized areas, we just concluded chapter 14, reporting. And Julie, Aisha, and Rufiat, and the consistent, apart from the new joiners, we normally have quizzes after each section. So we've come to a close of our this module 14 on reporting. So before we move to chapter 15, current issues, we need to check whether you understand account opening balances and comparatives based on ISA 510 and ISA 710, and also be able to explain the impact of going concern on the auditor's report as required by ISA 570. Also, we need to check that you're able to describe in detail the contents of an auditor's report with emphasis on matter and other matters, and also emphasis on matter paragraphs. How after you've prepared the report, you can move to the next paragraph to speak to issues that have come up to your attention, and you need to bring it to the fore in writing. Also, we need to check that you'll be able to identify the basic auditor's report, and should be able to know the modified, and if so, how to explain the auditor's duty with respect to other information in the documents containing audited financial statements as per ISA 720. Should be able to also discuss matters that should be communicated with those charged with governance, and describe the communication process in writing based on ISA 265. Finally, briefly describe the form, content, and use of specialized auditor's report. So that's in generally what we've spoken to very briefly before we go to our quiz. So for new joiners, our quizzes are always fun. So if you are answering, you just have to tell us your name, but then we have our regulars on the call, so I'll pick their names as we go through our quiz. So I have their target actually is to score 100%, especially Rufiat, Aisha. They are always AP joined us yesterday. So if you're speaking or you're giving me your answers, please, like Eukarya D, please introduce yourself and mention your name, and you tell me your answer. So for now, I have Jay on the call. Jay, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. A, are you here on the call? Aisha, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. AP, are you here? I know AP joined yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Rufiat, are you still here? Oliver Twist, Rufiat, that always wants to score 100%. R, are you still on the call? I hope she has not left. Okay, I think she's dropped off the call. All right. So the new joiners, if you are speaking, maybe you just raise your hand, tell us your name, we'll take your initial, and we'll take your option. Okay, so let's go. Number one, on checking the other information that an audit client intends to publish with the financial statements and auditor's report, the auditor discovers some material inconsistencies in the other information. He asks the client's management to correct the other information, but they refused. Which of the following measures may the auditor now take? 1. Include a statement that there is an uncorrected material misstatement in the other information paragraph in the auditor's report. 2. Ask those charged with governance to correct the other information. 3. Withhold the issue of the auditor's report. And 4. If allowed by law, withdraw from the audit. So what's your option? A, 1, 2, 3. B, 1, 3, 4. C, 1, 3, 4. Okay, sorry, B, 1, 2, 4. C, 1, 3, 4. And D, 2, 3, 4. Tricky question. I like this kind of questions. Julie will not score 100 today.
Well,
So what are your picks?
I have. Can you imagine that? I won't score anything. Okay, you'll be surprised. Yeah,
you will do, but you will score 100 today.
You'll be shocked. Yeah.
All right. So, what's your pick? Tricky question. On checking the other information that an audit client intends to publish with the financial statements and auditor's report. Okay, so Eukaria, I think Eukaria's hand is up. All right, Eukaria, go ahead.
I'll be going for B.
Okay, so I took EA. Let me take our initials, EAB. Wow, that was so fast. My generals have not spoken. J, A, A, P, R. Okay, R is not on the call. All right, she's going for B. 1, 2, and 4. Okay. We'll see on Judgment Day. So who else is speaking? We are running out of time. Okay, your hand is still up. Okay, it's down now. On checking the other information that an audit client intends to publish with the financial statement and auditor's report, the auditor discovers some material inconsistencies in the other information. He asks the client management to correct the other information, but they refused. Which of the following measures may the auditor now take? 1, include a statement that there is an uncorrected misstatement. Okay, I have S. All right, so what's your name, S? Just tell us your initial and you give us your option.
Okay. Good evening, sir. My name is Sherifat. So I'm going for C, 1, 3, and 4 only.
Okay, you're going for C. Sorry, I didn't catch your name again.
Sir.
Huh?
Sherifat.
Oh, Sherifat. Okay, nice to have you on the call, Sherifat.
Sherifat.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you. Nice to have you on the call. All right, you're welcome.
J is going for B.
Okay, J is going for B too. Okay. All right.
APC.
Okay, APC. All right. A, what's your pick?
B.
Yeah, you're going for B. Okay. Any other new joiner wants to join or wants to speak? Any other new joiner wants to pick, or we should just go ahead? Sharifat, your hand is still up.
Grace, C.
Okay, G is picking C. We have Grace on the call. All right, Grace, you're welcome. Nice to have you. Any other new joiner wants to pick? Yeah, you're welcome. Any other new joiner wants to speak? Okay, we don't have time. Let's go to the next one. Number 2, which of the following will not be provided in an auditor's report? A, except for opinion due to material limitation in the scope. B, unqualified opinion. C, adverse opinion due to pervasive limitation in scope. D, except for opinion due to material disagreement. Which of the following will not be provided in an auditor's report? I think this one is simple. They should have added those Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, but then let's see. But that not is one area J, A, and J doesn't like. Which of the following is not or will not be provided in an auditor's report?
G thinks it's C.
Okay, G is going for C. All right. J, are you still thinking?
Don't worry, I'll soon give you the answer.
Okay. A, you are still brainstorming, right?
Yeah.
I know. Which of the following will not be provided? Okay, AP has given, all right, D.
D, Eukarya.
Yeah.
Okay, EA is going for D too, all right?
Yeah. Why do you force me to say it?
A, you are going for C?
No. It's D actually.
I'll
Okay,
put D.
For D. Yeah.
I'll go for D.
Almost
J will
everybody
go for D.
Almost everybody is going for D, including, it's only G that is going for C. Okay, I'm having RO. Please introduce yourself and give us your pick. Go ahead, RO.
My name is Rachel.
Okay, Rachel, nice to meet you.
I'm going for D.
Okay, you're going for D. But you did not pick number 1. Were you around during number 1 or you decided to leave out number 1?
I did not.
Okay.
I think the in them.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe you've not joined. All right, that's fine. So you picked D. That's good. Okay, nice to have that. Let's go number 3. Which part of the auditor's report should include a statement that the auditor's report has been carried out in accordance with ISAs? Which part of the auditor's report should include a statement that the auditor's report has been carried out in accordance with international standards on auditing? A, auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statements. B, key audit matters. C, auditor's opinion. D, responsibility of management for the financial statements. Which part of the auditor's report should include a statement that the auditor's report has been carried out in accordance with ISAs? This question seems to be tricky.
I'll go for C. It's quite tricky. I'll go for C. J, go for C.
Okay, I had A speak now. A, you're going for
C.
C too, okay. AP.
C.
Women supporting women. Okay. RO, let me follow the order. All right, RO, go ahead.
C.
C again. Okay. EA. Is EA there?
C.
Or yes? C. All right. S, Sherifat, are you there? Okay. If Sherifat is not there, what of G? G, are you there?
I don't know this.
And you guess now. You pick one. Okay. G said what?
C.
B.
C.
D for door.
C for cat.
Oh, okay. C for cat. Okay. Okay. The same thing. Other options. Okay, Sharifa, do you want to join the? Just remember that if they fall into the pit, you are joining them. If you want to join the C group, though. Or you want to leave that option blank?
No, let me join them.
If you cannot beat them, join them. All right. So Sharifa at C. Okay, let's go. Number 4. Now they have come to my type of question. Which of the following affects the audit opinion? A, material limitation on scope. 1, material limitation on scope. 2, material disagreement. 3, emphasis of matter. A, 1 and 2. B, 1 only. C, 2 only. D, 1, 2, 3. Which of the following affects the audit opinion? Quite simple, but a bit tricky though. So what are your picks?
D. J will go for D.
J is going for D. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. A, what's your pick?
G is going for A too. A.
G is going for A. All right. 1 and 2. Okay.
APD.
AP is going for D. Okay.
D.
Who is going for B? A, are you going for B?
D for dog.
Okay, A is going for D. All right. R, O, E, A, and the S. What are your picks?
I'm going for D.
S is
Yes.
S
D.
is going for D.
One.
I'm not catching your voices.
So,
S,
yes,
S, you're
sir,
going
yes.
for D, right? Yes, that's network. S, what's your pick, please? Is that D?
Going for D, sir, yes.
Okay. EA, what's your pick?
D.
D2. Wow, a lot of Ds. All right. RO, what's your pick?
D.
There's only one person that picked A. Only G picked A. Okay. Let's go. Finally, when the auditor disagrees with a specific item in the financial statements, but considers that the financial statements as a whole give a true and fair view, even though the matter is material, the auditor's report should A, give a disclaimer of opinion, B, give an except for opinion, C, state a disagreement, D, include an emphasis of matter paragraph. Yes, this is Julie's area. When the auditor disagrees with a specific item.
You want to confuse me. It will work.
D. Oh.
Who said
Exactly, Shai.
Exactly.
It's D.
EA is
It's
already
D.
saying D. Okay, all right. So EA, D. J, are you agreeing with EA or you are going on your own?
I'm still thinking, but I'm sure it's D.
Okay, let me allow you.
D.
I disagree, sir.
Okay, so who is
Disagree.
disagreeing? Who is disagreeing?
S.
S. Okay, what's your disagreement? You are going with which option?
I'm going with A.
Okay, S is going with A. Okay, that's nice. We'll see on Judgment Day. All right. G, what's your pick?
J is
Yes.
going for D.
Oh, J decided for D. All right. So A, AP, RO, and we have
Oh, I was
D.
saying D. I thought she heard me. D.
Oh, okay. A is going for
A.
D. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
They have had you D. So
APD.
AP2D. Wow, a lot of Ds. All right. RO and G, we're waiting for you. What are your picks?
I'm going for D. Emphasis
Okay.
of matter.
RO is going for D too. All right. G, Inka. G, what's your
Okay.
pick?
Wow. A. I'm guessing you. I'm guessing.
Okay. A is guessing A. Okay. S and G, you people are guessing
We are-
A. What? Do you want to change your mind?
No, I'm still going for that A.
Okay.
I'm
So S
guessing
and G.
another B. I'm changing my mind to B.
Who is changing her mind to B? Or what's your name? Your initial?
G.
Okay, G is changing to B from A. Okay. We have a lot of D's. Then we have one A, S has A, and G has B. All right. So let's go to Judgment Day quickly now. Number 1, C, and only A, P, S, and G got it. J has decided to do giveaway. A also did giveaway. EA also did giveaway. So the answer is C. Let's go back and see the question. Number 1, on checking the other information that are audited. J, don't make me laugh now. He said,
Okay, well, let me see too. Do you know I saw that thing? Ask those charge you as if but I thought it was an insult to ask those charge, but I thought let me just maybe I did not see it well in the when you were talking about it. I said, okay. It's all right.
No, you decided to do giveaway. You decided to do giveaway for me. I'm glad at the beginning.
No, I accept because actually I looked at it, but I was not too sure. But I just said,
Sorry, sir. What did you say is the answer? What did you say is the answer? C.
The answer is C, yes.
Yeah.
So AP got it, S got it, and G got it.
and I
So
put
the answer
let's see.
is
So I said, include them.
Yeah.
But
What
sir,
did I
you
put?
never
What did I
mentioned
write?
withholding the issue of the when you say withholding the issue of
Exactly.
the auditor's report, what
Exactly.
do you mean?
Okay, so number 3 means withhold the issue of the auditor's report. And is that part of the options or not?
Sorry, sir. Please, what did I pick?
You picked B. 1, 2, and 4.
I picked what?
B, 1, 2, and 4.
B. Okay, 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
Eh.
So EA too picked B. So EA, you're asking a question.
Yes, I'm asking when you say
2 and 4.
withhold because when you say where my confusion came in was where you said withhold the issue of the auditor's report. Because I know you can communicate when you tell the management and they refuse, you can communicate to those charged with governance, right? But
Yeah.
what the statement said here is ask them to correct it. So where I got confused was between communicating with those charged with governance, in as much as you are saying they should correct it, and withholding the issue of the auditor's report.
Okay, that's where you have issues. All right, so good. Let's go and look at the explanation, because this is direct from the ICAN pack before I speak to it. So there is no reason to
They are wrong.
You said
They are wrong.
ICAN
is wrong.
ICAN is not wrong. No. Yeah, let's read the option. There is no reason to qualify the auditor's report if the auditor considers the financial statements to give a true and fair view, of course. However, it is a matter of concern that the audit client will issue other information with the financial statements and the auditor's report. That comes, of course, that's a challenge, which contains significant inconsistencies of misstatements of fact, which includes users of the financial statements may assume incorrectly that the other information has been audited. So in speaking to EA's question on withhold the issue of the auditor's report. So withhold the issue of the auditor's report was an option you did not pick. Now, when you want to withhold an issue of the auditor's report, is either you are disclaiming that you are not qualifying or unqualifying. So he didn't put it in that way, but then he put it in another way just to confuse you. Though the exam is not an OBJ exam, but then when you are speaking to your thoughts on a question like this, maybe it comes up as a 3-mark or 4-mark question. You could ignore that phrase, withhold the issue. But then withhold the issue is neither stating a qualification or a non-qualification. But the examiner put it in another way to get you confused, and he did. Because this is directly from the ICAN study pack. So ICAN 1 EA. And that's why it's not in the... It's part of the option 1, 3, and 4. All right. So, Jay, don't say ICAN is wrong. ICAN is not wrong. They are right. They
No problem. We accept.
They know how to twist questions. I know EA is not happy. EA no vex, eh? That's ICAN for you. All right. Number 2. All right. Number 2. Only one person got it. Wow. And that is G. J picked D. A picked D, AP picked D. You see the issue of going with
no,
the
administrative limitation in the scope should lead to a disclaimer of.
RO picked D also. EA picked D. Okay, S did not.
Can we see the options again, please?
Let's see the questions, please. What is this now?
Number 2, which of the following will not? You see, when it comes to that not, J is always not comfortable with questions of not.
It gets someone confused.
Exactly. Which of the following will not be provided in an auditor's report? Of course, you cannot provide except for what now? That's unclear. Why would you say except for opinion due to? There's no even except for. So we have an unqualified, we have a qualified, we have adverse and disclaimer. We have 4. So which one is except
What's the answer?
For? The answer is C now.
But is it? Well,
it's not now.
It's not now.
C. Oh yeah, C. Look at. Okay, the answer is C. A pervasive limitation in scope should lead to a disclaimer of opinion. No. I think there is a challenge with this. Except for. If our pick is except for. If our pick is except for. Opinion due to material disadvantage.
So ICAN is wrong.
I know what I'm saying. Even that number 1 self. Even that number 1.
No, number 1 is correct, but this number. This number
that
2.
Number 1, eh? That
No, number one is
Leave
okay.
number 2, honestly. Except
Number one,
for
they actually pimped it. But number one, I think I'm clear on it. But number two, I think I will have to override ICAN. I don't know why they did this, but I'll still go
number
back.
one,
and
you
start
override
the
it
text.
too, because that number
No, number one is clear. It's not clear to you, but number one is clear. This
so you
D
see,
is
for this
except
one, it
for.
says will not be provided for in the next, except for.
Except for
it's
it's.
an advance opinion. Wow.
And did you see? Look at it. They didn't. They gave a short explanation that a pervasive limitation in scope should lead to a disclaimer of opinion. Pervasive.
disclaimer.
Pervasive,
Pervasive,
yes.
exactly.
Pervasive is not.
They did not even give the answer to that question. They only explained
Exactly.
what pervasive
What
means.
pervasive.
Yes. So let's override them for this one. But for Julie, for number one, no, we won't override them. Let's leave ICAN.
Okay.
So let's assume everybody got number 2, including the option of C. So since the option is ICAN's legal options, we give her C. All right, so let's run number 3. Which part of the auditor's report should include a statement that the, let's look at the option of this one. Number 3, A, they didn't even explain. How come everybody failed it?
This is 419 question. All these questions are 419. They are not just it at all. This is not our ideal question. You know?
I can.
Hey,
Everybody
what is
failed
the
it.
auditor's report for the audit? Haba now.
Which part of the auditor's report
How?
should include a statement that the auditor's
How?
report has been carried out in accordance with ISAs? Of course, it's the auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statements now. So what did you guys pick? C, auditor's opinion.
Opinion.
Should we look at what you may need to look at?
Yeah, can we look at the
Let's look at the reports, a proper report.
Yes.
A proper audit report, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think we need to look at what a proper audit report looks like, but that will be in the study text. And I have the study text close. Let me see how to open it, study text, and let's get that sorted out. Because even though it's a written exam, it's not OBJ, but then you need to understand the concept. So let me see very quickly. Find auditor's report. So we need to go through the, what do they call it? We need to go through the practice or the pocket notes so that we can identify some of these things. I know it may be too late to start going through the study text topic by topic and chapter by chapter. So the pocket notes.
No, it's just details of the, the auditor's report has the different stages, the process.
Yeah.
So the explanation of that process.
Exactly.
It should be there. It's just the explanation of the process.
It will be in the study text. So let's see where it's captured.
The 4 elements in the audit report. What title?
Okay, are you with your study text open? Did you open the study text with you there?
I'm even going to Google.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have the study text. Let me read what the auditor's responsibility means.
Okay.
It says auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statement. This section of the report shall state the objective of the auditors. The objective of the auditors are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. Issue an auditor's report that includes the auditor's opinion. State that the reasonable assurance is a high-level assurance, but is not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will always dictate a material misstatement when it exists. State that material misstatement can arise from fraud and errors. So I think where that question is coming from is state that reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with the IAS will always detect material misstatements.
Yeah.
So is it on auditor's opinion? Is it auditor's opinion?
It's auditor's responsibility.
No, are you sure? I didn't hear that.
It's auditor's responsibility. Let me read auditor's opinion.
What is under auditor's opinion? What is under auditor's opinion? What is under? Can you read that once again?
Let me read it. Auditor's opinion. The first section of auditor's reports shall include the auditor's opinion and have the heading opinion. The opinion section shall identify the entity whose financial statement has been audited. 2, state that the financial statement have been audited. 3, identify the title of each statement comprising the financial statement. 4, refer to the notes, including the summary of significant accounting policies. And the last one says specify dates or period covered by each financial statement comprising the financial statement. But I think they also mentioned that. I think they also mentioned. I think they also mentioned it in auditor's opinion because for them to say refer to the notes, including the summary of significant accounting policies.
So can you read the auditor's responsibility for that? Because I heard something concerning this IS. Under
auditor's responsibility, the particular place that says something about this IS states the auditor should state that reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but is not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with IAS will always dictate the material misstatement.
That is it now. So we failed. Yeah. Wow.
So you are convinced now. I'm glad you are convinced. You see that ICAN cannot.
Of course, it's important because we have learned something here now. We have learned something new.
These things are confusing.
Exactly.
Yes, and it will stick. And it will stick.
Of course.
Because it's disagreement and the debate.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense. So you can see ICAN is not wrong at the end of the day. So that's a good one. So thank you, EA. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so let's see number 4. Let's even go to the answer. We're on number 4. Everybody except G failed it. So only G got it. J said D, no? J, you decided to do a lot of giveaway for me today. Hi.
I don't understand.
All right, let's go back to the question number 4. Which of the following affects the audit opinion? No, emphasis of matter don't affect the opinion now. Is after you've stated your opinion, the next this thing is emphasis of another matter. So you got it wrong by picking all of you. Yeah. Emphasis of matter is another opinion. So which of the following will affect the audit opinion? It doesn't affect your opinion is stated. So emphasis is after is the next paragraph.
That means I got 0. Chai.
No, there's still number 1. There's still 1. There's still 1 point. There's still 1 mark.
This is the worst ever.
I'm telling you.
This is the worst ever.
No, but you people should not do this in the exam. Don't do this in the exam, please.
Hey.
Right. So number 5. Let's see. Finally, number 5. Only one person got number 5. J. This G. What? I hope G is, and she's joining for the first time. She scored 4/5. J said D. A said D. All of you did give away for me today. Only.
And funny enough, I wasn't following the crowd. I was just picking my answers, and I followed this class.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I should have even gotten the information because you even gave me a hint. You even said, "Okay, this is Julie." As when you said, I knew that answer was wrong, just to confuse us. But somehow I still fell for it. Let's read the question. Let us read it.
When the auditor disagrees with a specific item in the financial statement, but considers that the financial statement as a whole give a true and fair view, even though the matter is material, the auditor's report should give an except for opinion B. That's what the answer is. But there's nothing like except for opinion. Eukarya, can you read that except for opinion side? Because
because there was a particular word I was looking for. Let me. Now I know there are three opinions to give there. Let me see where did I find it? Oh, I saw it somewhere. There's qualified opinion, there's unqualified opinion, there's qualified opinion, and there's disclaimer opinion. And there's adverse opinion. Yes. So that's why I was a bit confused, But I didn't see any of those three. I saw this. I knew disclaimer is not the answer, and I knew that the number one is the answer, and it's not except for opinion. So I don't know where this except for opinion. ICAN is wrong again.
No. Let's not conclude. EA, if you are there, can you look for except for on the study text? Our slides are summary, so maybe except for is there. So let's learn something. EA, can you help us look at? So help us check out E except for, because I don't know this except for opinion, even as your tutor. So I must admit, I don't know except for. And tutors don't know everything, so we need to admit. So help us check it out for. Julie, you can also help us check Google, except for me. I know we have disclaimer, adverse, qualified, and unqualified. So I don't know of except for. So we need to clarify. And
except for audit opinion, also known as a qualified. That is what I was looking for, qualified opinion. And it means the same thing.
Okay, that's a synonym for qualified.
Yes. Okay. It's when an auditor finds material misstatement in the financial statement, but concludes that the financial statements are still substantially true and fair, except for those specific that is it. That was qualified opinion, what I was looking for, and it was not there. So
okay,
I didn't know that's what. So it's a new one, except for those specific statements. This means
so that speaks to the fact that maybe this one is correct. So we're saying number 2 is wrong. ICAN is wrong. So let's not assume number 2 is wrong. Please accept.
ICAN is not wrong.
So number 2, so number 2 question: which of the following will not be provided in our auditor's report? They said the answer is D, except for opinion due to material misstatement. That means we can assume that they are correct in this question too, based on this except for.
Except for. Okay, yes.
Okay, so we have increased our learning curve.
I didn't get you. I didn't get you. I'm trying to understand what you just said. The last statement you made.
Okay, so based on what Julie read for us now, except for is another synonym or another name for qualified opinion.
Qualified opinion, yes.
Yes. So we just got that now, and I don't think it was on the slides. So they are saying which of the following will not be provided in an auditor's report. They said except for opinion due to material disagreement. And Julie just read to it that when you qualify an opinion, it's because of material disagreement or misstatement, of course. That if not this, there are no issues with the financial statement. So this issue materially have affected our opinion of except for. So that's what this speaks to. So we're learning something today. Our learning curve has increased by understanding the synonym of qualified opinion to stand for except for. So we just know it as for.
Number 2?
And number 2, they said the answer is C, which is adverse opinion due to pervasive limitation on scope.
Yeah.
So you can see 2 options speak to except for and.
Wait, hang on. Let me look. Adverse opinion due to pervasive limitation. Is that how you get adverse opinion?
No, they said
adverse
it's not.
Opinion.
They say it's not. The question said not or not the otherwise. Which of the following will not be provided in an auditor's opinion? So they said adverse opinion due to pervasive limitation in scope. But don't forget the AAA paper.
Because it means that there has been a gross misstatement. Okay. Adverse opinion is when there has been a gross misstatement in the financial statement of a company and even possibly fraud. Adverse opinion. And adverse here due to pervasive limitation in scope.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why, because that is wrong. Yes, because that adverse opinion cannot be given there is a pervasive limitation in scope.
Exactly.
It's deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank God the AAA paper is not a multiple choice something, so you will not have issues. But then if we understand the concepts, we can apply them graphically, and which is what we've learned today in most of the answers. So looking at B, they said number 4, they said is A, an emphasis of matter paragraph does not affect the audit opinion. So emphasis comes after in the next paragraph. Then also number 5 says, yes, after. When there is a material limitation on scope or a material misagreement, the auditor's report should give an except for opinion, which is qualification. Okay, so we've learned from that today, and we understand that it's a theory paper, so let's be very careful in the way we answered it. So we took a lot of time because of the engagement. Our plan was to conclude on